Welcome to Absolute Comics right here at the Comic Story Podcast Network. My name is Benny. That is Sal. I run the channel Comic Story and he runs the channel Comic Pop. And we talk about comics every Tuesday right here at twitch.tv/Comic Story and 5 p.m. Eastern. So I got a list of topics here, but Sal and I, in usual fashion, have already started tangenting before I did this. So, I haven't really had space to talk about this. You brought up YouTube views are just weird and wonky and it doesn't make sense anymore.
That's right.
I have a channel with 2.5 million subs, humble brag. That means nothing. It literally means nothing because I can put a video out and it gets 17,000 views. And then I can put a video out and it gets 50,000 views. And then I can put out Turtles and it gets 300,000 views. Yep. It makes zero sense. And as of last September, when DC struck me with a copyright strike because they didn't want me to do things day of, but they apparently have no care in the world about every other channel.
That's right.
Which still to this day actually irks me. That I got pinged and no one else.
They were making an example of you. Clearly, that's what happened. They were like, no, we'll ding him. The others will all talk to each other, and then they'll all stop. What happened instead, nothing.
Is nothing. Literally nothing. I can't do day one things, which killed my clickbait. And for those of you guys who don't know, and Dan and I are going to make an official video talking about all of this and like the direction we decided to go with Comic Story. But for the podcasters, what I decided to do was just stop caring. That was literally it. And I don't mean stop caring about Comic Story, and it was stop caring about the rat race of YouTube. Comic Story does well enough that I could pay my staff and pay my mortgage, and I'm like, you know what? Why don't I just start doing comic books that I enjoy? And Sal, I have had so much fun with Comic Story since making that decision.
Yeah.
Like, I pick the stories I want. Old Benny would never have done Moon Knight.
No.
Old Benny would never have done like Winter Soldier and Falcon because what if it doesn't get enough views? I gotta worry about that. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
2 or 3 videos a week. I put out whatever the hell I want. Which is a lot of it now is voted on by our Patreons, patreon.com/comicstorian for the mini producer tier.
I mean, it's a genius move because it also it makes the Patreon more valuable. Like it is an inadvertently strategic move because you are more actively interested in the product, which makes the product superior, while also making the Patreon intrinsically connected to the content. So you get like money over there, you make better content, which technically, according to anybody who, makes content, says just make the best product you can and it will, like, the cream will rise to the top, so to speak. So it is a brilliant strategy in terms of business maneuvers.
And what I do is I give them the vote of stuff I know I want to cover.
Right.
I don't, I take a lot of their suggestions. We all talk about it and stuff like that over there. But I take what I want to cover. So it's not just like, because look, my philosophy has always been I'll cover comics I enjoyed, but there were sometimes like I enjoy this one more than this one.
Totally.
But I had another idea to add to this, Sal.
Yeah.
So what we started doing, I'm not allowed to do day one or super clickbait titles basically anymore.
Yeah.
So what we started doing was the comic would come out this week, and then next week on Friday, all the important DC stuff of the week.
Right.
All.
Yeah.
Which makes a 30-minute video that I literally have like easy ad breaks between every issue. Ad break. Marvel on Fridays. We were doing King and Black. We were doing Future State. And then I said, why don't we just keep doing that? Why don't I just grab comics that sound good, throw whatever clickbait I want on there? But here's the kicker, Sal. Here's an example. This week, we're going to cover the Batman Urban Legend. So it's going to say Red Hood and Joker. That's my title.
Yep.
But I'm also going to cover Wonder Woman. I'm also going to cover Noctera.
Yes.
Because I can throw whatever I want in there now.
Yeah.
I can make a fun video, use the clickbait, and it's not getting 500,000 views, but I don't care because it's so long. The watch time's great. It pays the bills, and I'm enjoying myself.
That's right. And that's the most important thing. It's not about having like crazy videos that blow up and become viral or have outrageous view to, sub ratios. It's all about those subs watching the video.
Yeah. And they do. And I thank all of you guys who are watching this and watch everything we do because you guys are incredible and you make these jobs very, very viable for us to do.
Yeah. You make them jobs as opposed to like hobbies. And we're incredibly indebted to you for that because I have a studio, you have a studio. because we make enough to warrant it, and as such, then in turn make as good content as we can. Like we have the room and the space and the dedicated opportunity to make that content and to make it as good as we possibly can. If it weren't, it would just be like, well, here we go again. Like I got the best I can afford and make as much as I can within the parameters of my free time around my day job.
Yeah.
This is
but it's even gotten better because, and now, at first, I hated the new direction that YouTube has taken, where we can't do whatever we want. It has to be kind of in line with one type of content. Yep. But it led to us creating Absolutely Marvel and DC, the channel where Sal and I and Dan and Dylan and all of us talk about Disney Plus. We talk about the CW shows. We talk about the Amazon shows. We talk about whatever we want that's in the movie and TV realm.
Which we would do anyway, so it's awesome.
It's so much fun. I look forward to those discussions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what we're saying, of course, is that, adversity sometimes breeds creativity. Mostly breeds creativity.
Yeah, River King in our chat, Sneaky Ben sneaking indie comics into the Joker videos. That came out, so we got an email from Mad Cave Studios. They're one of the smaller publishers, right?
Okay.
And they wanted us to cover their comic, and I get emails like that all the time from Kickstarters, Indiegogo's, and every small publisher known to mankind who somehow got my email.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know where they keep getting it, but I admire your ingenuity.
Yeah. And I've never done anything with it because, look, you can't cover indie books on general channels. Very rarely do they blow up, and you're basically just tanking your channel with a video no one's going to watch. But what if I sneak them into a video, like something that says Batman?
Yeah.
So you know what I got coming up this week? We're covering Crime Syndicate 1 and 2, and we're covering Suicide Squad 1 and 2 in one video.
Yeah.
Evil people from DC. Followed by the book Nottingham No. 1, which is a Robin Hood noir story.
Yeah.
About it's like dark, gritty, awesome, really dug it. Right. Now I can share it with the world.
That's great. Yeah. And more people will see it than if you had made a dedicated video about it because they're clicking to see Joker.
Yeah, exactly. So going to cheat the system. Cheat it.
Yeah. YouTube will, of course, try invariably to find a way to screw you, though, because it seems like, at first it was like they just kind of broke the algorithm 5 years ago and have just been scrambling to try and repair it over the last 5 years.
I know.
Now it's almost like they go, well, I mean, yeah, well, we're still we're maintaining, but screw them in particular. That one right there. Why? It's really weird. And it's not really vindictive or malicious. It's just weird. It's weird and broken. Yeah. But thankfully, it breeds creativity.
Yeah, so finding ways to get around the YouTube system. But yeah, guys,
Exactly.
If you are new to the channel, new to the podcast, we do these every Tuesday, but we did launch an entire channel to talk about all your favorite TV shows and movies. Go check out Absolutely Marvel and DC. It's a channel run by me and Sal. We love talking about Disney Plus shows. We love talking about Invincible, and we love having you guys shit on us nonstop. It's so much fun on our side.
Very lucky to have it. I definitely don't have enough criticism in my life. I need to find it in other channels, and I'm very lucky to do it.
Yeah, I'm so lucky that I can have people just completely telling me my brother's better than me. I love that. I love people telling me, just get Dan in here to talk about Invincible. That was my favorite comment. Get Dan to talk about Invincible. Dan's not watching it. Who do you think Dan is? Dan watches League of Legends esports, and he plays Apex all day. Am I wrong, Dan? Voice of God.
You are not wrong there.
But no, I don't know. It's so much fun. I actually am enjoying that. So definitely go check it out. If you also want to support this podcast, keep this podcast on the air, please consider going to the channel or going to our sponsor, G Fuel, and using the code comics at checkout. We're still going through the new Mortal Kombat it's like Shatter Ice or something. It's really good. Yeah.
Nice.
And it's white in a bottle. Sometimes those things look like neon fluorescent. This one's just
Yes. That's cool.
So before we get to the inevitable discussion that we have to have, the ending of King in Black and Venom.
Yeah.
What else have you read? Anything?
I mean, I read books every week. I read the new Amazing Spider-Man. We didn't talk about it, but I should mention this has come from a couple of weeks ago. But I loved Beta Ray Bill.
I want to cover that. It's gonna be one of those random ones I throw in with the title Spider-Man.
Yep. Oh,
Spider-Man and Beta Ray Bill.
And Beta Ray Bill, though, it's really great. I'm still enjoying Strange Adventures in Batman Catwoman. I have not yet gone back to pick up Rorschach, I read the first 3 issues. I was like, pass.
Yeah,
then,
I dropped it.
Yeah, and then Tom King was like, dude, you got to read it. Please reread it. And I was like, all right.
I saw it came out today. I forgot it was a thing after I dropped it. In all honesty.
Constantly forget about it, but I will say,
I got to
Jorge
issue
Fornes'
3, I
art is
dropped
great.
it, and then today I was like, issue 6. Oh, that's still coming out.
It's almost over, halfway through, and then I'll read the whole thing because I feel like it's going to read better in trade, like anything.
A lot of Tom King stuff does.
Exactly. But yeah, and I of course this week I did pick up not Detective Comics, Batman the Detective from Tom Taylor.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to read that.
I haven't read it yet, but it's Tom Taylor and Andy Kubert. I'm in.
I'm a little behind on my Batman books. I got
hard to believe since there's only a few Batman books that come out every week.
Oh no, yeah, every week. That's the
3 this week right now.
Today I just read James Tynion's one from last week, which basically sets up how the Magistrate was made.
Great. Couldn't care less about that.
I gotta talk about this real quick.
Please, yeah, take it away.
Between Future State, Infinite Frontier, and then now all these books coming out, I feel like some of this I've read.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
like the
going
Magistrate
to
again.
The Magistrate again. Suicide Squad had the Connor thing, but that was a part of Infinite Frontier. But he was already on the Suicide Squad in Future State.
Right.
So it's like I feel like this has all happened before. Like and I'm literally looking at my channel. Like, did we cover this?
Right.
Like, did I already do this? And I'm just like,
yeah, am I Groundhog Daying this thing? Am I just reliving the same book over and over again? I mean, really, like the problem is, I think that Future State was a stopgap thing that was supposed to cover their butts for the fact that Future State is just a retooled 5G, and then Infinite Frontier was what they called the next thing, and they can't ignore certain things from Future State because they were popular and so had to be incorporated into the line because they had no plan. And so it's like, you're going to see some repeats. Or at the very least, you're going to see some retreading. Like the Magistrate.
Retreading.
The Magistrate took over Gotham in Future State. Well, now we're pre-Future State. It might happen. Look at the Magistrate. It's gaining traction. Will they defeat it this time? Hopefully. And then I can get back to reading Batman again because I'm sick of this.
I don't like the Magistrate thing is I find to be one of the weirdest things.
Yeah.
Because Future State was literally 2 months and like 7 Bat books.
Right.
Fighting the It's not like it was like a one shot off, like, oh, cool. This was like 2 straight months of them fighting this guy. And now it's like Scarecrow's like, come and make the Magistrate. I'm like,
why?
They pretty much defeated him. What are you?
Yeah. It's like there's 14 books of that already. And now you're going to do, what, a year of this? Like, I think
it would have been cooler if, like, it was only, like, Dark Detective was the Magistrate. And we're like, oh, is that where this is going to go? But no, we had so many looks and appeals and, like, appearances and...
Oh, and they're setting up, characters that were, characters that were supposed to be only in Future State, but now they're here because they were popular or because they factor in. Like the 01, whatever, Agent 1 of the Magistrate. It's like, I don't care about that.
I like Grifter. Grifter's just automatically there in Future State, so I was expecting some kind of an intro, and in this one, it's like, no, he's still just here. Like
Grifter shows up so often, he's right next to me right now. Like,
don't let you let.
He's literally next to me, and this is how often Grifter shows up. This was a mask that DC gave to fans at New York Comic Con like 5 years ago. They were like, yo, Grifter. And I'm like, no, I'll take the mask though. Now it's like 5-6 years later and they're like, how about Grifter again? I'm like, dude, okay. I appreciate that Jim Lee's like whatever he's supposed to be president. I don't know what he is at DC anymore, but like he created Grifter. But like there's other Wildcats.
Is he just? I think he's just being incorporated as part of the Bat family now. Because I feel like the Bat family was so small. We really had room for like Ghostmaker and Duke's reappearance and Grifter, Clown Hunter, and Punchline. And
Harley Quinn's a member of the Bat family.
Harley Quinn's actually in the Bat family now. Like it wasn't big enough yet. I think.
You know what I think it might be? This is very cynical, so please bear with me. But what if Jim Lee he sees the writing on the wall and he's going to be ousted. And so he's forcing Grifter to be inexorably connected to the Bat family so that Grifter constantly comes up even when he's not around so he can get residuals on the use and adaptations of Grifter when he's not there anymore. Like if, let's say, he has to leave DC or he is in a reduced capacity, and then they make like a Batman movie where he fights Grifter instead of Deathstroke, and it's like, cool, that's a big fat check for me long after I no longer work for DC. Like, do you think it could be some kind of like cynical way of forcing Grifter to be this thing that's part of a thing that will always be? Because like Wildcats is not inevitable. You don't like just you don't assume Wildcats or the Wildstorm universe is going to be referenced or resurging at any point, because it doesn't. You know, it just doesn't. But if I can just make Grifter like unmistakably connected to DC and the Bat family in general, then I will have secured my paycheck until I'm in my 70s. Like, it feels like that might be
like
it.
the
Because
Bendis
Grifter's like a
method?
lot. Right, like
Where
the Bendis
Bendis
method.
where Bendis is like, I made Riri. So every book I write moving forward, Riri's going to show up so that the audience will accept Riri.
Look at that on a smaller scale and how well it worked. Bendis invented Maria Hill.
Yeah.
He put Maria Hill in every book he was writing, which were like 4 titles at the time. Maria Hill became such a thing. She became a supporting cast member in an Iron Man book he didn't even write. And then she became a cartoon character. She was put in the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Hero show. She's
in
became
the game.
a game character, a movie character, a TV character. They put her in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She's everywhere. So it's like, he's like, if I'm ever ousted, and of course, we all saw where that came from, I will still get Maria Hill checks long into my 80s.
Maria Hill and Miles. He's already making bank. And Bendis on his way out the door at Marvel was like, I can make more. I could just...
Oh,
I just
Riri
throw more
Williams
out there."
was his, like, I guess I'm leaving, but Riri Williams!
Keep using her!
One last check for Bendis. I mean, like, listen, it is positively George Lucasian in its, like, in its craftiness and in its like business acumen. I don't blame them for doing it.
Oh, no, not at all.
Why do you think Tynion invented 12 new Batman characters in
He
only
wants
2
one to
years?
stick. He wants one to
He just
stick.
needs one. One of them needs to be a McFarlane figure and a TV. Ghostmaker just needs to pop up in the Pennyworth show. Thank
I
you.
will say, Ghostmaker, out of all his creations so far, that's the one I enjoy the most.
And that's
Punchline has a fun design, but so far in practice, she has been boring as all hell.
But here's the thing.
The design is amazing, though.
The brilliant move of that's fine. You know, if you don't like Punchline, they do. You like Ghostmaker, though? Good. I got you there. Hey,
Yeah.
you don't like Ghostmaker or Punchline? Clown Hunter. Yeah, you like him, don't you?
Okay,
Hey,
Clown Hunter is probably the weakest of the entries.
I
don't
hate
know-
all
I-
of them, but like, but he, you know, so it's like, you're not getting my cash. I literally dropped the book. I'm like, no, I'm not giving you any more money. I see what you're doing, and I don't like any of it.
I'll just tell you what's happening. So, Magistrate's coming back.
Right. I mean, I know what's happening. I'm plugged in. I don't read comics for free, but I do know what's up. Like, people do tell me what's happening. Not because I'm like, tell me what's happening. I don't read it. Haha. Yeah, but like, literally, I'll just hear about it. I don't care, thankfully. But because he did that, no matter what, you know, if Gotham were still on, you know, Clown Hunter would be a character. End of story. But all those characters appeal to some demographic, but not every demographic. So he's got you. He's got you by the balls.
That's true. I would read a
Money.
Ghostmaker book.
Ka-ching. Right?
Batman who
Ghostmaker
kills
book.
in a cool outfit. I mean,
That's it. That's all he needs. All he needs is a video game skin. Done. All he needs to do is have Ghostmaker show up in the new Arkham game.
they delayed that, sadly.
I know. It does. It is.
You know,
it is
funny
very
side
sad.
note, funny because we're well known for these tangents here. I got a fun comment that relates to what you just said. Oh, I don't get the books for free. I don't get the books for free either. None of us do.
No.
We don't get the comp issues because we're not technically reviewers.
I will say, full disclosure, Zdarsky did have Marvel send me the Spider Shadow book.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
You bastard! I hate you. This friendship is
know.
over.
It literally comes out tomorrow. But
Why
like,
can't I be friends with Zdarsky? Let me be friends
just
with him.
make
Just be
fun of
like,
him on
"Yo,
Twitter.
Hey,
Don't really
what
do
up?"
that.
Hey, okay, I'll make fun of him. Hold on right
No,
now.
don't
Sal,
do it.
Sal said you.
No, please. You'll just torch both of our options. But no, it's.
No, but what I was gonna
yeah.
say though is I got a fun comment about a guy who goes, "Oh, you only gave me 4 pages of whatever comic we covered."
okay.
And I responded with, "I've never given an entire comic."
Right.
and that's all I said. And the guy responded with, "You're a greedy bastard who is just who doesn't want to do any work to put the videos together and doesn't want to spend any time in this. You probably get your comic books for free. I don't know why you can't just give us free comic books." And I'm just like,
You know who
is
that
wrong
guy
with
is?
this guy?
That is that kind of text I've seen, like where it's like, hey, I know that we've never met, but like your friend from Biolab told me your number. Hey, that's cool. I'm glad you like me, but listen, I have a boyfriend. Cue wall of text calling her every terrible word in the English language. It was like, hey man, listen, like, I think you're awesome and I love your channel. I'm sub forever, but like, you only gave me 4 free pages today. I don't do that, man. Okay. Yeah. Gloves are off. I hate you actually, and you're the worst, and just the worst dregs of humanity.
I just loved it. I just loved the comment of "you're lazy." That's why
you're
you
lazy.
Gave me 5 pages. What?
You're the laziest one. You're the one who's like trolling YouTube trying to find free books. Like, buy the damn thing. It comes to your house. It's online for free.
I'm not endorsing this in any way, shape, or form, but I always find it hilarious because I do get comments of people being like, "Just give me the full book. Just tell me what's happening in the book. I just want the full book." If you just Google "read for free," the thing pops up. Like,
yeah, it's
reading bootleg comics is not the most complex thing in the world.
It's easier than writing a stupid YouTube comment. I'll tell you.
Yes, that's what I always find.
But you know what's even easier, ladies and gentlemen, is just go to Comixology.com and buy your books, or subscribe to Marvel Unlimited or DC Universe. There's so many ways for you to get the comics in themselves. And by the way, if you get them digitally, not to your local comic book store needs your help. But if you don't have one in your area, or you're too friggin' lazy to get up off your ass and get them, there's no ads in any of the Comixology books.
Right. And trust me, I put ads in.
That's right. Yeah.
You will sit through a commercial or you will YouTube bread for me. Either way, I'm getting paid.
Did you see, by the way, have you seen those ads?
But I'm not greedy, for the record.
I saw an ad. It was an hour long if I didn't skip it. An hour?
I've heard about those. Yeah.
I was like, how inexcusable is that?
Is it like a whole YouTube video or whatever?
It was like a movie or something. It was a movie made as a commercial. I'm like, and it was like 1:00:01. I'm like, oh, and you know what that is? That's just because people will like set their YouTube playlist to go, and then they'll go AFK. They'll just go. They'll do their laundry. They'll go for a run. They don't hit the skip button. So I've got you for your hour-long ad. Like, that's nuts. Anyway. Comic books.
Yeah. But no, anyway, I just find that funny.
We don't get free books. They don't send us free books.
Yeah, they don't get free books, and we do we spend a boatload of time doing all this work, and we have a huge staff that handles it now.
Yeah, and money to buy those books, by the way. Like, we buy the books to talk about them.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I buy every shitty book I talk about. Like,
that's right. Yeah, you can yell at us for
I buy twice. Because I'll get the Comixology to have it the day of us doing the work.
Yes.
And then I go to my local store and I have a collection.
Yeah, you have a pull list. So it's like, well, oops. I mean, really, like, that's, yeah. So if you hate us, like, for our terrible opinions on our comic books, like, at least you can't fault us for buying the damn thing. We do buy the books.
I mean, we know other YouTubers who don't. I don't throw anyone under the bus, but I will tell you that they exist.
They exist. They exist in spades, let me tell you.
All right, so let's go ahead and go to the Marvel side of the house, because now finally, after 5 months, King in Black is done.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what I said. Venom is the only necessary thing to read.
Right. I didn't read Venom. I figured I'd just wait until it was all over, and then I'll read all the Venom books. And I've been reading King in Black because it's just the fights. It's literally just the fights. Here you go. King in Black, just the fights.
That's basically what it is, because Venom shows how Eddie came back.
Yeah.
Wait, you didn't read Venom? You just read King in Black 5?
I just read King in Black.
Flash Thompson's back.
I know. I heard. I know. People told me.
He's like a dragon. He's like flying over. He's like, oh, apparently this will make me come back to life. Let me go do this.
Yeah, an anti-venom dragon. I'm like, okay, well, just undo the mistake. I appreciate it. Thank you. Bring him back.
My Comixology has 10,000 books on it.
Oh my God. I've never checked. Is there a number? Can you look? Oh, yep.
What do you got? Because people are talking about how much my Comixology is probably worth.
I don't know because I don't have a total because I have like recommended, unread 700. I have 770 unread books. I have 1738 recently purchased books.
You got to go to Browse Library.
Okay.
And then you got to go to books and just leave it there. Title A through Z at the top. It'll say your library.
Yeah.
I have 9,682 books on here.
I have 2,000, so it's not as much.
9,000, Sal.
Yeah.
Wow. Dan, we have a lot of books.
Dear Comixology, where is our sponsorship? Have you noticed that? It's hard to get a hold of them.
Oh, trust me, I know.
You can get a gift cards though for them.
Yeah, you saw my tweet?
I did, and I saved it. I'm like, no, because I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to give away gift cards. I love that idea.
So there's a channel I watch on YouTube, and before we get more of our Venom King of Black discussion, I want to say there's a channel I watch on YouTube to get my weekly updates on Ubisoft stuff. So like what's going on in Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs, all those other things. And every week the guy does a Helix pack drop, which is basically like $20. I'll give it out. You got to subscribe and you got to do this. And now normally, and you've seen them, V-Bucks giveaway. That's all bullshit. It's a lie.
Yep.
It doesn't mean anything. But this guy has a real system for it involving Gleam.io that checks everything and makes sure you all do it. And it's legitimate. Now, whether or not he gives out the prize, I don't actually know. But I was like, if we're launching a gaming channel, which is PlayStation and Steam Gamers, if you want to look that up, PlayStation, Steam, and Steam Gamers. PlayStation and Steam Gamers. Go check it out. It's our other project other than Absolutely Marvel and DC. It's the second out of 3 we're launching. But anyway. We're going to be giving away PlayStation cards and Steam cards. I was like, $20 is easy. You know what I mean? It's not that big of a loss. It'll be a great way to entice subs and stuff like that, and I'll start doing that. But then I was thinking about it. I'm like, is there a way to do something like that on Comicstorian? Like,
right?
I mean, overall, if you do $20 a week, that's $80 a month.
Yeah.
And it's just a way for me to give back to the viewers. It's not that much. And if I can legitimately do it, yeah, why not? You give me a sub, you watch a video, I give you comics. Like, that's...
Right. Yeah. And you can set your own price. It's just a genius move.
And it's just a $20 gift card. And you can literally go get 5 comics with that.
That's great.
Or 2 if you're buying from Marvel. But
well, and yeah, but there are always like deals and giveaways and stuff on that. So
So, but
King of Black.
the King of Black conclusion. Wow.
Yeah.
Like, for the first time in a long time, I'm expecting there to actually be changes in the Marvel Universe.
I would be disappointed if I were you.
They even say it. Silver Surfer and Thor even say it, that there's going to be changes.
Yeah, one change will be Venom's in charge of a planet of symbiotes, and the other change is that everything you were like is back. Like, Flash Thompson's alive, Thor's got Mjolnir, Silver Surfer's got his board. He's not goopy anymore. You know,
He's
like,
not goopy.
he's not. You know, I don't feel like it's gonna be any different. I didn't get that impression. I don't know.
Okay, well, as a Venom fan, I feel like there would be a lot of changes.
Oh yeah, well.
We're also rolling into a card. Yeah, but that's not getting canceled. They're just changing writers.
Yeah, who's taking over for Venom?
Don't do that to me. Hold on. Who's next?
I don't know.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that. Venom next writer. Donny Cates hasn't said anything.
No, but all we know is he's leaving.
Venom writer Jeff Pickner.
What?
I don't know who that is.
I don't either. I don't envy him.
Oh, wait. Hold on. That's the movie. Let There Be Carnage. Since the next event is Carnage, I kind of assumed, but no, my bad.
Yep. Great title, by the way, Let There Be Carnage. Great idea. The kind of genius that always comes from a studio like Sony. Just a fantastic title. You got Carnage in your title, and you don't have Maximum Carnage or Absolute Carnage. No, Let There Be Carnage. Such a terrible title. It's just awful. Just awful.
No, because there's a Carnage event, Extreme Carnage. Someone's writing it after, because there's a Carnage event.
I know. There has to be a Venom book, or at the very least a Carnage book. I give it to Conway, because Conway did such a good job with that Carnage
Who's
series.
in charge of Extreme Carnage? You know what I realize now, though? Donny Cates is leaving, and the very next writer's like, so I want to do a Carnage thing.
Right. Yeah. How about Carnage, though? And it's like, okay, you should do a Phage thing. Blow some doors off of the House of Ideas. You know, turn some heads. Make it. Let there be Phage.
Extreme Carnage is written by Philip Kennedy Johnson from Alien.
Okay. Well, there you have it. That makes
So they got an Alien writer to do the new Carnage Venom stuff?
Well, and the Superman writer. Yeah, he wrote Last God. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Okay. Well, if you thought that there was already if you thought that there was a theme of fathers and sons, and it was beat to death in this event, get ready for more.
It's the same writer who's going to be writing Superman, apparently. So he's going to be doing.
He's
Venom
already writing it,
or at least Extreme. And there's a doppelganger event coming and Shriek 12-issue mini. Okay, I do want to state that out of this
What?
there's 2 characters that I got because I did all the tie-ins, Sal. I read all the tie-ins, Sal.
Yeah, good.
There's
Yeah,
2
good.
characters that popped up, and I was like, what the hell? Shriek was totally setting up a mini that never happened,
That's too bad.
but Toxic, or whatever,
Toxin. Yeah.
he got a new origin.
New origin.
Planet of the Symbiotes issue 3 has him attached to a little kid, and they're off fighting things, and they just mention Null, and it literally, that's the only tie-in portion. Toxin's like, yeah, my father Null left me to die or whatever, and then he literally goes like the kid. It's like, what is this gonna be a book?
Right? I think they're all just breeding grounds. There's a Scream tie-in because they always keep trying to get Scream working.
Scream. That's the one I
Oh,
wanted.
okay.
To have,
Oh, wasn't Shriek? Oh, that's too bad. I like
Yeah, no,
Shriek. Shriek was
Scream-
Carnage's girlfriend for a while.
Well, they
yeah.
gave Shriek to Andy Benton, the girl that was Mania, what Flash Thompson was Venom.
Oh.
So Scream's on her with the hell mark.
Okay.
So I want that book. I want Andy Benton with a hell mark and a Venom symbiote.
Yeah.
Killing things.
Why not? That's a cool idea. Scream. Yeah.
So, yeah, Scream is going to be by Clay Chapman.
I don't know who
There you
that
go.
is.
I don't either, but it's got a writer. That's all I care about, Sal.
Yeah, right. That was the question, and now we have the answer. Yes, Venom has a writer, or at the very least, Extreme Carnage
Well,
does.
they apparently have not announced the actual Venom, but Extreme Carnage does, so.
Okay, and that's I feel like with somebody as prolific and high profile as PKJ, it's gonna be PKJ.
Yeah.
So yeah, makes sense. To me.
But what did you think about the overall ending? I thought it was a cool conclusion to this.
Yeah, I had no complaints. It was a fun little like crazy event. It put all the action figures on display in a fun way. Everybody got to be cool, especially Venom. I loved Venom's axe that's in the shape of the spider on his
Yeah.
chest. Everything about it.
I do think it went on way too long.
I thought that it's only 5 issues. That's not very long. It's just that it was really dragged out. A lot of tie-ins. That's
I'm gonna give you the full tie-in checklist. King in
Please do.
Black checklist, okay?
Yeah, because there's too many.
Because you're
Too
right.
many.
There are 5. There are 5 books in the actual story, okay?
Right.
So I'm just gonna say KIB. So we got
King
so
Black.
it started in this November with Symbiote Spider-Man.
Okay. All right.
And
So
then
that's
it was
a tie-in book.
Atlantis Attacks, Black Cat, King in Black 1 and 2, Handbook, Immortal Hulk, Iron Man, Doctor Doom, Namor, Spider-Woman, Symbiote Spider-Man 2, King in Black, Union 1, Venom 31, Black Cat, Daredevil, Deadpool, Guardians of the Galaxy, King in Black 3, Black Knight, Gwenom vs. Carnage, Namor, Planet of the Symbiotes, Thunderbolts, Return of the Valkyries, Savage Avengers, Spider-Woman, Symbiote Spider-Man, again, the Union, Venom, and now I've only gotten to February. King in Black 4, King in Black Captain America, Symbiote Spider-Man, Planet of the Symbiotes 2, Gwenom vs. Carnage 2, Return of the Valkyries 3, Marauders 1, Black Panther 1, Namor 4, Thunderbolts 2, Black Cat 3, Savage Avengers, Miles Morales, Daredevil, Sword, Fantastic Four, and Venom. March, King of Black 5, Wicked and Hulkling, Ghost Rider, Spider-Man, Gwenom vs. Carnage 3, Scream 1, Thunderbolts 3, Namor 5, Return of the Valkyries 4, Planet of the Symbiotes 3, Symbiote Spider-Man 5 out of 5, Fantastic Four, Sword, Beta Ray Bill, Black Cat, Daredevil, Savage Avengers, Venom, and apparently there's going to be one more tie-in issue, Avengers
good.
45 in April.
Thank goodness, because we needed another one.
We didn't get enough. I felt like I was shy just one, Sal.
Yeah, that's too many. I mean, like that being said, some of those tie-ins were cool. The Ghost Rider one was just, here's what happened with Ghost Rider, where the book got canceled before we had the issue. Beta Ray Bill is just, Daniel Warren Johnson is doing a Beta Ray Bill book, and the opening salvo is he fights some symbiotes, end of story. That's cool. He fights Fin Fang Foom.
Yeah.
Daredevil was just Zdarsky's doing what he wants, but also there's some symbiotes in it.
And that's what I noticed. I think what made this feel so just taking forever.
Long. Yeah.
Other than X-Men and Spider-Man, I think everything got looped into it.
It sure did.
So everything was pretty much on hold for 5 months.
The Sword series. There's 4 issues. 3 out of 4 are a tie-in.
It's gonna be like a 9-hour full story. You're not wrong. Dan's computer's gonna shut down midway through rendering that beast.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's nuts.
It's great, but I think that because am I right? Was it only Spider-Man and X-Men that stayed out of it?
Yeah. Well, X-Men did not have any tie-in issues except for Sword
And Marauders.
And Spider-Man Amazing didn't have any tie-ins, I think.
No, there was like separate King and Black Spider-Man tie-ins.
Exactly, but the main Amazing Spider-Man book did not. And I feel like that was just Spencer being like,
Oh, and
not
Avengers.
doing that.
Avengers stayed with Jason Aaron's Phoenix fight.
Yes. Thank goodness, because that's such a great story.
And you wonder why he'll never talk to you.
Oh, I don't. No, I'm aware.
I liked it though. I just felt like it went on too long. I felt, or if you wanted it to go this long, they should have been also publishing some regular books. Like I shouldn't have gotten like 1 or 2 a month that were outside of the event. But
Yeah. No, I thought it was fine. It was a fun story, and I think it's going to read really fast in trade, because like they're going to leave out all the tie-ins and you're just going to get Venom. If they are smart, the trade will be the Venom series and the King in Black series, end of story. That'll be the book.
That will be it.
Because it is, like, right? Venom is just the rest.
King of Black is each fight, Venom is the plot. That actually propels the plot
You
forward.
need that.
Yeah. Which I still don't know why they structured it that way, because King
To
in
sell
Black
2 books.
doesn't even make it very obvious where the plot was going on. It just says things like, "Oh, Venom showed up with wings." Oh, that was
Selling
in
2
Venom.
books.
That's all it says. But no, and I get they're selling 2 books, but it didn't make it very obvious. Like, look,
No, it didn't.
Tie-ins, core stuff.
Yeah. I don't know why they didn't do that. I mean, I don't know. It's weird, and the reason why I think we're confused is because Marvel's very good at doing that. Like, Marvel's very good at telling you what is indispensable. This is going back a long time now, but I remember when Civil War was launched and how it was structured. And they were like, Civil War, the road to Civil War Frontline. Like, if you want to read Civil War and what's going on, you read Civil War. If you want to know what's happening behind the scenes, you read Civil War Frontline. If you want to know what's happening with your favorite character, you will read your favorite character with the Civil War logo cover scheme on it. That's and then anything else is just gravy. Like,
And a good chunk of these King and Black other character tie-ins was just them fighting a symbiote. Like Spider-Woman was just her swinging through the city like, oh no, symbiotes are here.
Yeah, there's no way. If you are a hardcore big-time King and Black fan, when you read that Ghost Rider tie-in, you were like, okay, I got gypped. Because it's not about that. Beta Ray Bill wasn't about that. Now, if you did buy Beta Ray Bill because you were a big King and Black fan, I hope you enjoyed it anyway, because that book is dope.
I gotta check it out still. I still haven't read it.
You'd love it. It's great. And it references Hook. You know the movie Hook?
Yes.
It's great.
Classic.
Beta Ray Bill is a big fan of Hook.
Yeah, I mean, Comic Dash is right. Planet of Symbiotes brought in Cassidy's ancestors.
I didn't even see Cassidy. Like, I didn't even see Carnage in this thing, and then you dropped there's Gwenom versus Carnage. Is that real Carnage?
No, the Carnage symbiote is still alive. Null revived it and put it on Mary Jane from Gwenom's universe. So it was Gwen Stacy versus Mary Jane Carnage, and they both pulled out symbiote instruments and had a guitar off. This isn't even me joking. This happened.
Oh,
because they were using their axes.
That's cool.
I will say, those 3 tie-ins were actually really cool. Because Null immediately goes to Gwenom and is like, "Why can't I communicate with your symbiote?" And then she's like, "Cause it's not yours."
Right.
And then he's like, "All right, here's your." And I forget exactly how he did it, but he got into her mind and he's like, "You're friends with this Mary Jane. Let's see what happens when Carnage messes with you." And left. And that was the reason why Gwenom was fighting Mary Jane, because Null was upset he couldn't see what was going on.
Yeah. Now here's my question. Because I remember from Absolute Carnage how integral the Maker was and his whole connection to the Ultimate Universe. And I know Kate's is a big fan of the Ultimate Universe. Did any Ultimate stuff happen outside of that?
No, not yet. No.
Because the symbiote is very different from the Ultimate Universe as it is in this
they didn't even touch on the Maker one. No. Tevia's like, when did they fight? Like, literally, the book is called Gwenom versus Carnage. Carnage is just Mary Jane. That's all it is.
Right. That's it. You'd love it. Jonathan Kane Superboy shows up, and Mayday Parker, she's in it too.
No, it was really good, though. It was actually one of my favorite tie-ins because they established how it links in, why it's happening, and it's directly related to King in Black in the nature of like him going, well, I can't mess with you, so she will. And
Right.
it ends on a weird cliffhanger where like Mary Jane's still under control, but they've taken Carnage off. And I think they're just gonna ignore that. I think
It's probably smart. That's
like,
probably
it's
the best.
like they get Carnage off of Mary Jane, and then you see the null circle, and it's like, oh, she's still under the influence. Who knows?
Yeah, and writers are like, no. Yeah, and then it went away. The end.
Well, I mean, we haven't seen a Gwenum book since then. Is there?
Well,
Is there even a Gwen Stacy? Is that still going, or did they cancel that?
no. She's getting a tie-in in Heroes Reborn, but that's its own book. So I don't
She's
think
a Batgirl in that one.
Yeah, she's Batgirl.
All right, so Marvel tweeted out 2 comics spoiling the Hellfire Gala by revealing that Forge Strong, Guy, Boom Boom, and Tempo are not going to be the new X-Men team, which is supposed to be announced during the 12-issue event. This leaves Armor, Banshee, Cannonball, Marrow. Marrow! She's still in the running! She's still in the running! What?
She's not. They just released it today.
No!
Marrow and Armor were kicked out.
Those are my 2 choices!
I know. I'm sorry. My guy was kicked off already. So
Who was yours? Forge?
Boom Boom.
Oh, Boom Boom, yeah. Boom Boom was my second, so my second's already out, and my primary's already out. Everyone argued with me about Marrow, but she got farther than Boom Boom.
She did get farther than Boom Boom. I mean, like, yeah.
For those who don't know, Marvel put out a vote to have people vote on who the X-Men team were going to be, and now we're finally seeing the results of that. I just realized we didn't really go into what this is.
We're just talking about X-Men like we know who, like anybody knows who that is.
They were so basically, if you haven't been following X-Men following Ten of Swords, Scott left the council and basically said, "Hey, I'm going to remake the X-Men now because that's what I should be doing."
Yeah.
And then they immediately ignored it because we're back with X-23/Wolverine. I just want to call her Wolverine, but no one. Like, it's the argument. It's the last argument we had last week. Like, just because you give her the name doesn't mean anyone's gonna know who she is. But X-23/Wolverine, that's the whole issue, which was an incredible issue. So we don't know the results of who the new X-Men team are yet. I was voting for Marrow in this run with Boom Boom as my secondary. So what you said, she's out. Marrow's out officially. So who's left?
She's out. Everybody else: Banshee, Polaris, Cannonball, Sunspot.
All right, I'm going with Polaris.
Yeah.
No.
That's a sure bet.
I have a reason for that.
Is it because of a video game?
Yes. Hey, have they not proven me right up to this point?
Of course.
Polaris is the new character that not new, but they released her orbs in Strike Force.
Oh, there you go.
So I have a feeling. As soon as I saw her, I'm like, why the hell would I want Polaris orbs? Like,
right? Because she's gonna be a big character pretty soon.
Because she's about to be in your favorite comics.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you know what? I don't care much about Polaris, so if they give her, I mean, like, I don't care about most of these characters, so it's like anyone on that team and getting that much exposure, I'm like, cool, I'll read it.
I just find it funny that like your response, I'm like, I have a reason to believe this. You're like, is it a video game?
I mean, it's it's a $1 billion industry. I don't blame them, and it makes perfect sense. We know that story, like, what's it called? How the upper management at Marvel knows they know what's going on. So, when they were putting together Avengers No Surrender, and the team was putting together like who was gonna like fight, and they had like the Black Order in there, and then they were like hashing out the story, and one of them is like, and Tom Brevoort comes in, and they're like, oh, we don't really have anything to do with the Black Order. We're gonna put them out of the team, or we're gonna take them out of the book. And Brevoort just goes, you're going to want to keep the Black Order in the book. And they're like, Tom, are the Black Order going to be in an Infinity War? And he's like, I'm just saying I think the Black Order should probably be in this book. That's all. It's like, I'm thinking Polaris might be an X-Man. Oh, yeah?
Well,
do you think, is there a Marvel Strike Force Polaris thing in there? I'm just saying, I'm just thinking she might be in the comic.
Oh, it's just because, like, in Strike Force, a lot of times, if the characters are available for buy, it's because there's, like, a story related to them coming out in the game.
Yeah.
And then there'll be these out-of-the-blue characters that you're like, why is Elsa Hellfire in here? Like Elsa Bloodstone in here.
Yeah.
What comic is she about to show up in?
Right? Because they do know. Like, licensing knows what they're going to be in the game. So they're like, hey, do you have time? Can you put them in there?
Yep.
Get some cross-promotion.
And I'm pretty sure Polaris is already in the game, so it was like a simple of like, $20, buy some Polaris orbs. Why would you want them? You might be reading X-Men.
Right? Yeah. Or maybe maybe you might read X-Men. You know,
Yeah.
you like these Polaris orbs, so you'll go pick up X-Men. But like I feel like Strong Guy probably isn't in that game.
No, there's no strong guy.
There you have it.
Actually, you know what? Let's see here. There's no armor. Banshee's in the game. Cannonball's
Okay.
not in the game. If they are, for the record, I don't have them, so I don't know they exist in the game. Banshee's in there though, but Cannonball's not, Marrow's not, Sunspot's not, Strong Guy's not, Boom Boom's not, Tempo's not, and Forge is.
Oh, so okay, Forge was not going to be in it, but he is.
But he's
In
just
the
on
game?
the X-Men roster, so he makes a little more sense in that way.
Yeah.
You know. But Polaris is an obscure X-Men to be throwing out into the games. You know?
In today's day and age, certainly. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, did you guys know that Magneto has another daughter that we don't
Yeah.
talk about?
Well, now Magneto has a daughter because
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch is technically still not a mutant, and she's a boogeyman that's used to perpetuate the negative stereotype against her. It's cool. Now he's got a favorite.
All right, so let's move on to the next topic here. Marvel launched ExploreMadripoor.com website to allow fans of Falcon and Winter Soldier to learn a little bit more about the location scene of the TV show, implying that we might see more Madripoor throughout the show and potentially other. That was a given. It's
Madripoor.
almost a guarantee that we're going to get more Madripoor. Madripoor is an important location in the comics. It's an equivalent for Singapore. But I've been to Singapore. There's a lot of laws, and in Madripoor, the point is that there is no laws. It's like the opposite of Singapore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember going to Singapore and they were like, don't even spit on the ground. You will go to jail. And I'm like, I get that can't be true. And it's like, no, apparently don't spit.
Fair enough.
So I don't know what else to really say about this other than it's kind of a given that we were going to get more Madripoor. Why would they even drop the name of Madripoor?
Yeah.
You know?
Good. I like Madripoor as a location. I think that's cool, and I hope it features heavily in more stories. I hope it's in Black Widow. I doubt it will be, though.
I still stand by my theory. Black Widow, she's coming back to life. Anyway,
I would like that.
Skybound launches a 5-issue weekly series called Skybound X to celebrate their 10th anniversary with an anthology series featuring stories from Walking Dead, Assassination, Excellence, Manifest Destiny, as well as introducing all new series with brand new characters.
Cool.
That's cool. I mean, the fact that they've survived this long. Are they still a subsidiary of Image, though?
I think so. I think they're still their own. I think they are technically working through Image. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's cool, though. Joker
Right, good for
2 confirms what we've all assumed. Jim Gordon has known that Barbara is both Batgirl and Oracle.
Yay.
It's one of those things where, like, on one hand, you like the idea that he doesn't know who Batman, Barbara, and everyone are.
Yep.
But on the other hand, he would be the worst detective ever.
Yeah, he should not be commissioner of anything if he couldn't figure out. And we know, like, we've seen so much allusion to Gordon knowing who Batman is that it would stand to reason he's always known who Barbara Gordon is.
Yeah.
I'm not
I like the idea that he knows and he just plays along. Like,
Yeah.
I've always liked that idea. So this just kind of confirms that he knows about Batgirl, which is cool. And yes, Dan told me to read that issue before we went into today's topic. I did finish it, Dan. Thank you for that.
Good.
All right. Next up, we have Batman the Detective #1 by Tom Taylor releases week ventures into Batman questioning whether or not he made a difference in Gotham after all these years. Here's my predictions. Someone's gonna die. I'm gonna cry, and it's gonna be a Robin.
No, they're not going to kill a Robin in this random side book.
You don't think they will? And then they'll be like, it's Elseworlds.
Oh.
It's Tom Taylor Batman. It could just. Oh, it was in a different timeline the whole time, and we murdered them all.
Okay, I would take that, but I hope it's in continuity because Tom Taylor deserves to have an uncontinuity Batman book.
Oh, wait, I'll just read the statement. Finish it. He meets up with England's Robin Squire. Yeah, because you know what? The Knight died back in Ink. Squire's still alive. I called it, or Robin's going to die.
Yep, kill Squire. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Okay.
Is the Knight still dead, or they bring him back?
You're asking the wrong person.
I gotta read that book still, but I'm pretty sure Knight is still dead. And if Knight is still dead, then there's just conveniently a Robin out there, Squire.
Right? Just
who
running
needs
around?
To die. Yeah, just who needs to die. So
Who needs to die?
I've always been a fan of Knight and Squire, by the way. I always wish they'd done more with them. Because I just like the idea of there being a British equivalent to Batman.
Yeah.
And they're just the Knight and Squire.
Yeah. It was a fun idea. And yeah. I didn't really have much to say about them, but I appreciate that they exist.
Next up, Marvel reveals new artwork and details of the upcoming Star Wars event, The Hunt for Han Solo, which features characters such as Jabba the Hutt, Princess Leia, Dr. Aphra, Boba Fett, and Darth Vader. This event is going to fill the gaps in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi to reveal what really happened after Han was frozen in carbonite.
Yep, it's the Shadows of the Empire replacement.
Yep.
We knew this was coming.
The only characters I care about on this are Leia, Aphra, and Boba Fett.
I mean, that's fine. You like Darth Vader and Jabba the Hutt too.
Yeah,
They're
but
cool. This is all good.
Yeah, but here's the kicker. Darth Vader's not going to do anything if you're putting it in that portion of the timeline.
I mean, he didn't do anything in Shadows, and it was still cool. I'm okay
and
with
Jabba,
it.
does anyone really care about Jabba?
Well, I'm not going to read a Jabba book, but I do appreciate that Jabba's being in it because Jabba's the one who Han brings Han Solo to. In Shadows, the whole thing was it was the bounty hunter wars. It was that all the bounty hunters that Darth Vader pulled in to his Super Star Destroyer, he hired to look for Han Solo. Boba Fett catches him first and then drives his ass to Jabba the Hutt. Well, it's a long way from Cloud City to Tatooine, and so all the other bounty hunters that Darth Vader put on the scent go and try to target Boba Fett, take Han Solo away from him, and share the bounty price with themselves. And it's a fun story. It's a cool idea. I'm sad that we're losing that in favor of it'll probably just be Dr. Aphra hired by Vader to snipe Han Solo, being I'm not paying his outrageous wages. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Good use of Dr. Aphra because I'm where is she and how come she's not in any of the movies or shows yet?
I'm actually shocked because they keep hinting that she's probably out of all the new characters created, one of the few that everyone's Dr. Aphra is amazing, but they haven't put her in anything.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird. She should, it's weird.
And I've always liked her concept. Her comic ran on too long, and I just stopped reading it because one of those deals where it's she's in another predicament. But it was basically Indiana Jones and Star Wars. It was great.
Yeah.
And then after I got to issue 40, and she's the evil droids she made are turning on her again. I'm oh, we're doing comic book shit. So fuck this.
Okay. Because you need to end it. That's the thing is it's Star Wars, right? There used to be a thing where there was only a little bit of it. And that's kind of what makes it special. When you make Star Wars into a sci-fi ongoing saga, it gets a little weird and stale. But if you just selectively go this is it, boom, here's your story, then we're out. It's good.
Dr. Aphra was great in the Vader book, and then her 12-issue spinoff. That was great, where we see how
no question.
And then they just kept going. It's oh, now here's your dad, and here's her past, and here's that. I don't care about that much about Dr. Aphra.
No, well, yeah, whoa, you guys really overestimated my interest in this character because, I like the adventures she was going on. I don't care what she had for breakfast.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but I like that. I'm glad that they're at least putting her in this because she is, out of all of the, Star Wars replacement expanded universe main trilogy comics that they've put out, her inclusion is always a welcome one.
Who do you think she's supposed to be replacing? I'm thinking she's kind of the Dash Rendar, actually.
That'd be interesting if the Alliance hires her to get Solo from Boba Fett.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. I'd be okay with that. I assumed that she was just a free agent trying to steal Han from Boba Fett anyway.
Well, she's teamed up with Leia before, though.
Yeah.
She's teamed up with the heroes.
Then that makes sense.
And she's very much been you hire me. Kind of early Han. She's early Han before Han was I'm this crazy bounty hunter that won't do anything without a paycheck. And then, Leia, I love you, and I'm here forever, and I'm just in the team.
Yep, I'm just a member of the team now. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's a fair bet to make. I hope Shizor's in it.
What?
Shizor is a main character who was created in Shadows of the Empire. Come on, put Shizor in this book. Black Sun? Come on.
Now you're just pulling names I don't even know.
These are all from Shadows of the Empire, man.
I played the game on 64. That was
then you should know who Shizor is. Shizor is the leader of the criminal organization.
I still love the N64 controller. The only controller that you didn't actually hold the way it was intended. You held the middle thing.
You held the middle part, yeah. Yeah. I have Shadows. It's here in the studio. We played it like when we set it all up. I was like, whoo, Shadows. Shadows great. The book's great. Comics great. The soundtrack's good.
So
Check it out.
That's all our news for today. Is a little light. That's why we kind of went in depth into a lot of these topics.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Anything else you really want to talk about, Sal?
Nah.
I will say, for the first time in a while, I'm excited to see what Marvel's going to be doing moving forward.
Yeah.
Now that the pandemic's got to move, we're moving past like the big no comics coming out. They've got the Carnage story. They got Heroes Reborn coming out. I do like the idea of a Star Wars book continuing, even if I only care about a couple of the characters. I just hope it's mostly about the characters I care about.
Yep.
DC, while I feel like we're retreading, I'm excited that we're in a new direction. We're not in a weird holding pattern of like Year of the Villain and Death Metal taking a year to come out.
Agreed. Agreed. Yep.
So I don't know about you, but I feel like we're finally getting back into a good geek culture medium. We've got great shows rolling out. We got great things to discuss. We have fans hating on us again. That means that we have opinions again.
Yay, we're back. How far along are you with your vaccines?
I go for the second shot on the 28th.
Cool. I think that's my day too.
Sweet.
Which is great because my question is going to be, are you going to go to New York Comic Con?
Right now, if the world is fixed, going. Like, not fixed. And this is a bit of a political topic, and it's a long discussion, but I
don't want to do
that. We're not going to go deep into it. We're not going to go hash out the pros and cons. But I like the idea of the vaccine passport, in which it's like, if everyone has the vaccine, we can all feel safe in this location.
Agreed.
And if that's the direction we're going to take, the political arguments of you're taking away my choice and everything, that's a discussion that we will not have at a comic book show.
No.
I'm just expressing my overall opinion as someone whose wife has a weakened immune system.
Yeah.
I like the idea that I can safely go somewhere with my wife and we can go, okay, we got the vaccines, they got the vaccines, we're all good. You know?
Agreed. Yeah. Because I feel like if it's at such a reduced capacity, we could really do some stuff. Like, we could go to the con maybe like 1 or 2 days and then just shoot a bunch of stuff. We could draw from the well. You know, like if Scott wants to come on, we could shoot a couple of Absolute Comics with Scott here at the studio. Like, we could go to New York Comic Con and meet up with with Donnie Cates or whatever and shoot some stuff there. Like, there's a lot of opportunity there that's still on a reduced capacity because it's like there's not going to be the tens of thousands of people that are going to be there. So it's like
I'm probably going to submit for our badges as Comic Story Comic Pop. We'll get our badges in. We'll get Absolutely Marvel and DC. Submit for an Absolute Comics panel. Because I definitely want to do that, and I'm going to try to book stuff super ass cheap with a refund policy.
Oh, yes. With a refund policy, because we're going to need
chat. I'm not getting a second vaccine. I'm getting the second dose. It's in 2 parts.
Yeah. It's not like, okay, Pfizer's down. Who's next? Moderna? All right, let's do this. I'm going to be super vaccinated. No. I'm just going to take the one I got.
That's what my mom did as a funny joke on the vaccine thing. So, like, what they tell you is just because you get the vaccine, don't feel like you're superhuman, right?
Right.
So my mom got corona.
Yes.
Pulled through. Then went out and got the first dose of the vaccine, and her first response is, well, while I'm waiting for the second dose, since I have the 90 days antibodies and I have the vaccine, I'm going to come visit the family. So I got to go pick her up at the airport tomorrow. Literally, I get a phone call. Hey, I'm coming out. I'm going to stay at your brother's house. Can you pick me up?
What? Mom, no. Exactly. I don't know if you missed the last year, but like that is not a good idea. She's like, no. Let me tell you something. It's a great idea.
I just found out so funny. So
yeah, that's great.
But yeah, we'll probably go to New York. If we go to New York, I'd love to see all of you guys out there hanging out with us. It'll be the return. I will do it if I feel safe. If I don't, I will say this. Probably still going to wear a mask indoors at that point.
Don't blame you.
Because I have decided one thing. Even if general population goes back to not wearing masks, I think I'm still going to wear them at a con and just say I'm cosplaying pandemic gear. Because
you know what's not a bad idea? We should get shirts like of our brands. Like I'm going to wear my Comic Pop shirt all 3 days and wear my mask. So it's like if you see anybody with my body type wearing that shirt, it's me. You could say hello.
Well, it's not even for Corona. I haven't gotten sick all year, man.
It's just great. I hate being sick. I hate it. I hate it so much, and it's so great not being sick.
Right. If you could tell me, hey, man, if you just wear your mask at the con, you won't get con crud. I'm like, oh, 3 of them?
Done. Gloves too. By the way, I should point this out just because it's something that we've experienced, because as a casualty of the coronavirus, as a consequence of protection in the height, I felt bad. Comic book stores were really screwed, so I started going to them with wearing like a HVAC suit, but I had these latex gloves that were restaurant grade, like for cleansing. And one of our local comic book stores was doing like a dollar bin sale. And so I brought my gloves, and I'm leafing through the dollar bins. When I'm done, my gloves are like gray.
Yeah.
From just hundreds of people and not all at once, like hundreds of people throughout the day, maybe dozens is really more likely, but dozens of people going through these comic book boxes, and I'm like, I got my mask and I got my gloves on, and that's not just because people are gross, it's because it's like, it's ink, it's dust, because you're looking at dollar bins. This latex glove thing, that's my new norm when I'm going through back issues bins from now on. It's literally just because I feel the same, it's the same texture, I can easily leaf through the books without any issue, and take them off, I'm good to go. And it's just, I'm so much better off. So yeah, if you are going through long boxes, if if your comic book store is doing a big sale, if New Comic Book Day, if it exists in a year, go invest in a box of latex gloves and wear them going through the batches bins. The first time you do it and you see those gloves, you will be converted. I promise you. You'll be like, no.
It's like everyone's like, oh, the anti-mask people. You want to be afraid of the diseases. You want to be afraid. No, big thing I've realized, I haven't gotten sick. And my argument has always been since day one, like, if you had a cold, Sal, I'd be like, we're not hanging out today.
Yeah.
But
I just don't like
period.
colds.
That's the end of it. It's not that I'm afraid of corona. It's, if you have any illness, I have zero interest in that.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm not like creating superbugs.
And the same thing with the gloves.
Protecting myself.
Certain things you're touching, you're like, so I mean, Natalie and I talked about it. We'll probably still wear a mask like going into a restaurant, but like still take it off at the thing. Yeah. We'll probably go out a little bit more than usual. Nothing too drastic. One thing Natalie brought, because we built like an entire like basically theater space at this point over the course of the year, surround sound, the lighting. She's like, honestly, if movies. Like, we both agreed we want to get the theater experience occasionally.
Yeah.
But unless it's worth the theater experience, with no sticky floors, no crying baby, I can have whatever snack I want. No one's going to yell at me for playing on my phone at a boring scene. Like,
No, it's true. All I need is like a new TV, like, because my TV is just like it's too low grade now. So, but once it is, I think theaters are out.
Yeah. CJ, I agree. It's nothing wrong if you are afraid of the coronavirus. I mean, even if it's a 1 in 1 million chance that it's going to kill you, that's still a chance that it's going to kill you. So I have no problems with that at all. I'm saying that I'm not personally afraid of corona per se. If you want to say that I'm afraid of anything, I'm afraid of any illness, and not because I'm worried about it killing me, because I just don't like feeling like shit the next day. That's all it really comes down to.
Yeah, no, I'm not afraid of it, and nor am I like trying to foster a, my contribution to my protection is not going to create the next superbug. You know what I mean? The 100 of us doing it isn't either. So, I wouldn't freak out about it. But I will say it's been pretty sweet not being sick.
That's what I mean.
Really
like I didn't have to go to a con, come home, and then for 3 days be like, oh. I didn't have to cancel playing like games online with my friends because I felt like crap. I just didn't have a shitty. I'm a guy that wakes up at 6 a.m. and goes to the gym immediately, bike rides. Yes. I just don't like feeling like crap. That's all it comes down to.
Yeah. Every time I try to jump into like hitting the gym or working out, it's like literally 4 days into doing it, I get sick, and I'm out for a week, and then I'm out for the year. Yeah. So it's like, well, I'm not gonna get back into that. I'm trying to take care of myself. So by the time we do get to the cons, it's like I'm gonna avoid the crud, and I won't feel like I'm dying because I won't have literally not worked out or taken care of my body for a year and then walked the equivalent of 30 miles in a day. Because that's the other factor.
I vote that when we both vaccinated, we fly you out here in June and we do a bunch of on-set things together to celebrate safety.
Right.
Like that we can do it. And then we'll all go to New York Comic Con.
There you have it.
And we'll bring Dan to carry all the equipment.
And we'll abandon our families and we'll go to San Diego on Thanksgiving too.
Oh, no. Fuck.
Yeah, no,
not happening. I don't like. They would have to offer me some big ass paycheck to go.
It would have to be. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying.
Even then,
I'll take money if they want to pay me to go.
So the thing about it is like for me, because like cons don't get us anything. We don't make money off cons. We lose money off cons.
Yeah.
The reason to go is to meet creators we think are cool and interact with the audience. If neither of those factors are at this con, I ain't going.
That's just it. That's always been my
Like,
philosophy. That's what it turned into.
If you can't go, ladies and gentlemen, and like Chip Zdarsky isn't there, then I'm not going to that con. Like it's just pass. I don't go to cons just because they exist. I go because like there's something about it I want to experience, and I need to know that our audience would want to be there.
Yeah,
because I want to meet you and interact with you. That's it. If it would be like if San Diego just said like we're not going to have an in-person con, but all the people who would be at the con are going to come to our studio and we're going to shoot live things there. Like it's the same. That's how I'm treating it. Where it's like, no, I'm not going to that.
Yeah,
I don't care about that. Pass.
So, all right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Absolute Comics every Tuesday right here at twitch.tv/comicstorian at 5 p.m. Eastern. You can catch me, Sal, and the occasional chime in from the God voice of Dan, talking about your favorite comic book topics. And as I am moving through my move, I will be back at our studio. Everything will still look cool, but I may just stay here because I got like a whole setup I'm going over here for when I don't want to leave the office. Yeah. Well, my goal with this office is to make it into a functioning office, and then I walk out and go play video games over there. Like
it's great. No,
yeah,
it's
I
a
like the
system.
separation. So
you need the separation. It's important. Work-life balance, man.
Yep. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Please consider going to our other channel, Absolutely Marvel and DC, where Sal, me, Dan, and Dylan talk about the CW shows, the Disney Plus shows, the Amazon Prime shows, pretty much all the TV shows, trailers, and movies. And we give you guys our straight opinions. And if you can't handle opinions, well, we don't care. We're still going to give them to you.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah, can't. I mean, that's just it. And guys, we'll see you next week right here as well. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, G Fuel. Use the code comics at checkout. They have been generous enough to keep supporting this podcast long. They're the first sponsor, and at the rate we're going, the only sponsor. So
yeah. That's yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time right here at Absolute Comics.